Welcome back to Manjit Kaur's Community Health Show. Manjit.
Exciting, wasn't it?
It was a rapid first half.
Yeah, it went by fast. But we still are jittering to give so much information about skin. Talking about skin and beauty opening up into 2018. A lot will be spent on products. A lot of rubbish food has been eaten in 2017. We all have resolutions. Do we keep up with them? The question is, most of us don't. But skin, we are not saying that beauty and elegance and radiance is only for women or girls. I think it reflects very much on men as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, you know, in the beginning of the show, we were talking about how to maintain the youthfulness of your skin and the elegance and keeping the collagen tight.
Yes.
And keeping the skin firm. And I liked your question you asked me about sun. We all are crazy about the sun and we go out in different extremes of sun. The most dangerous time to avoid sun is between 12 and 3. That is the time that you get the most damage, and obviously using sun blockers which are not got toxins or have not got parabens and other chemicals, going for more of an organic range of products.
This is so important, you know, because we've got so much information coming at us that we should wear sunscreens.
Yes.
But, you know, most of the ones that are commonly sold have a lot of chemical toxins in.
And they're cancer-causing.
Which cause some really serious outcomes, worse than actually getting, you know, the sun itself.
Yeah. Get the burn, but avoid the cream then, you know.
So I know that there are some organic creams out there. I mean, for me personally, it's always useful to know more about this because it's an area that I've only more recently found out much more about. And for me, it would be very good to...
Very good question, Felix. Titanium oxide is a product that you need to avoid.
Okay.
And then any parabens and aluminium. These
Definitely
are the
aluminium.
Yeah. These are the things that you need, and you'll be absolutely baffled that you need to do a photo of any product you're buying to enlarge it to see this miniature writing. You know, the one which is the most will be at the top, and the good product will be the least one at the bottom. This is not going to be like 1 hour phone advice. It's a quick shift to tell you what I can assist you with. And then when you make a one-to-one appointment, then you have more intense therapy and information.
But in general, sort of going shopping in a more health food shop orientation is going to be better than going to a mass market shop and buying a chemical one. So you want basically a more natural brand.
Yeah, so true. Go for the natural brand. The word organic sometimes can be deceiving, but still look out for the word organic because it's very good quickly to certify that. Look out the certifications, check it out. And sometimes they do say do a skin test, which is important for people. I've just seen a lady yesterday with very sensitive skin, uses anything, goes very red and patchy. Again, there was fungus on the skin, there was fungus on the tongue. And I look at tongue fungus is a serious issue. People are not brushing their tongue. A lot of people think we shouldn't brush the tongue, or typical in India, tongue brushing or tongue a brace, a metal brace for the tongue was very common to buy.
Sure. I mean, I'm quite a believer, you know, more recently in taking, for example, apple cider vinegar in the morning in a dilution, and it's amazing what that does for the tongue.
Yeah, certainly. That's obviously alkalinity, obviously looking at soda bicarbonate as well, food and nutrition. When I start speaking with passion, I get very emotional because I feel there's so much I want to give. So Felix is going to talk about apple cider vinegar while I take a breather. Tell me more.
Well, I'm more recently because I don't particularly enjoy the taste of vinegar. So I was really inspired by a sporting friend of mine who happens to be a professional tennis player. But he was saying that the benefits of apple cider vinegar were quite profound for him personally. So I bit the bullet and I went out and got the best brand in this sector for it. And I have to say, both my wife and I have had a tremendous improvement in immediate alertness in the morning. We both were always routinely squeezing half a lemon in hot water. That's the way, you know, the first thing that goes into us in the mornings is hot water and lemon. But now we've shifted, so 5 minutes before the hot water and lemon, we'll do apple cider vinegar. In my case, in about 6 ounces of water.
Let me cut you there because, again, it doesn't suit some people. The brand doesn't suit. Unless some people need to put apple cider vinegar in hot water,
Sure.
cool it, and then drink it.
Sure.
Again, our program is just holistic advice only. This doesn't mean you rush out and buy products until you have a one-to-one with a professional therapist. And this is where then it's going to be catered for you. I mean, I travel globally across the world, so juice of 20 lemons a day is natural for me in a very hot country. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Or here in UK as well, if I haven't had 3 or 4, I know the difference. If I haven't had my juice of the day, I know the difference. If I haven't had my greens in my juice, I know I'm not that power horse of the day. When I've had my greens, I'm wondering why at 11 o'clock I'm still buzzing, PM, you know?
You know, look, with all the sporting athletes that I work with, one of the biggest impacts to their health and energy is fueling on an easy protein, an easy to digest protein, and also adding in a broad-ranging greens product.
Exactly.
That takes into account of a lot of nutrients, because we all struggle. I mean, gosh, the World Health Organization says 400 grams of veg predominantly and some fruit per day. Most of us struggle to do that, so it makes sense to take a broad-ranging, I take one myself, which is equivalent of more than 2 kilos of veg in a little 10-gram scoop.
Do you know this is going to pay you in years to come? What you're doing now, you'll reap the reward 20 years later when you'll find your friends are falling like peas or, you know, like flies. You'll say, I'm glad at what I've done over those years. It's paid back.
Definitely.
So if you're paying for your insurance or your life or your injury insurance, you may not need it for 20 years. And when you need it in the direst emergency, you'll say, thank God I've paid that 20 years. And then all that cost covers your injury. So again, feeding your body and stopping it from damage, from well-being of yourself and care. But don't rush and buy the wrong products. So again, this program, 2018, going on beauty and elegance, purely is to make you have a resolution. You know, we look at so many perfumes are going to be selling shortly, you know, in time to come. So many events happen. In the month of March, huge amount of sugar is going to be consumed. It's deadly for the skin. It's deadly just generally to change the pH levels from alkaline to acid. And it's a cancer-causing drug, may I say, you know. So look at white sugar. There are other substitute sugars which I use in my cook shows.
Yes.
All the time. And you've had a protein burger in my cook show.
Yes, absolutely. It was delicious,
and you enjoyed it. And it kept you going for the rest of the journey on the road. But had you had a stodgy carb, you'd be
Well, let's cover that now. I mean, you're absolutely right. But you know, commonly for me, I talk about a high protein, high good fat, high veg diet, and of course that means avoiding fast foods, anything that's deep fried, commonly avoiding hydrogenated fatty acids. So the hydrogenated fatty acids would be typically, which is so mass used in the Punjabi Asian homes, is corn oil and vegetable oil. It's a killer. It's an oil that dries you up like crisp from inside out to organ you know, devastation and cellular devastation. So when you eat these oils, folks, they become so carcinogenic that the burning combustion of these oils causing damage to the heart, arteries as well. So that means deep frying food in that same oil time and time again, you know, and having those chippies time and time. That chip shop uses on average the same oil for 3 weeks. Wow.
So they only use a lard to whiten the oil, and you think, oh, these chips I could die for. I'm saying join me in my cook shows and see how we have made chips. They certainly are delicious in the air fryer and in the oven. And having chips as in, oh, there's so much about sweet potato or in sweet potato. You know, look, this is just a great rule of thumb for the average person. A tablespoon of coconut, extra virgin organic coconut, 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and half an avocado every day is going to do wonders for them. And years to come. But what is the general persona of young girls, 15 to 27 or 28? Oh, avocado is fattening. But they're very happy to keep on using lip gloss and hand cream and foot cream and leg cream, and they're flaking away. The biggest structure of our body is the skin. Yes. It is the biggest organ, and we, right now, as we are sitting, Felix and I, we are shedding skin. every second our body is regenerating new skin, you know. So that's the biggest organ. The stretch, I think, is about I've forgotten, 2.2 pounds of skin a year we are shedding. And that is a massive weight, yet skin, you know, I'm talking about flaky skin, like dandruff. So the LED tri-light therapy that we started the show in is something that I wanted to, you know, re-emphasize in helping the skin, the red light, the blue light, and the infrared. There's a lot of rubbish in the market. You know, get to the right practitioner, seek the right advice to get the right products, you know, application, pre-prep of the skin before the treatment, but getting the right combination. So if I give you a tandoori, you know, a dish, for example, and I don't add all the ingredients, you'll say, there's something missing. That's your taste bud telling you. Now, if you're going to use the wrong products on the skin and using the wrong combinations and going in, there's so much cheap products in the market with LED light as well, you're not going to get the best results, and it'll put you out for life. So when I've brought any therapy in my clinic, this is now the 11th gadget I have. All the other gadgets are still running, but I give preference to colon hydrotherapy a lot.
Sure.
So until your gut is not clean, until you're not having 2 or 3 good bowel movements a day, you are octo-intoxicated. That means even the gut will leave toxins under the base of your skin.
You know, I'm a big believer in keeping things so simple. And for me, if you think of your body as a system, if you're having 3 intakes of food a day, you should be moving 3 times.
People just get aghast. I'm sure a lot of you just opened your mouth and dropped your chin by saying, I go once in 4 days. That is so common, or once in 3 days.
I think if you absolutely need to be going once a day, without question.
Twice, may I say.
But for me, optimal health is about the ins matches the outs. So if you have 3 intakes of food a day, you should be going 3 times a day. Ins
and outs, and get a lot of women saying, oh, I eat peas and I eat sweet corn and I never digest it. And I say, may I tell you why? You've just not chewed that. Because they've not chewed it 30 times. There's no magic mixer in your stomach, folks, that's going to make that food blended. Use your teeth, use your jaw, grind the food, masticate the food. Important. And you really have it with good thoughts. But with tri-light treatment, food and nutrition and lifestyle will definitely be looked into without fail. The red light, the blue light, all great for beautification, non-invasive light. But let's go on the bad foods. You were touching on the hydrogenated oils. Fast food.
Fast food, you know, absolutely.
It's a teenage thing of eating at least 3 to 4 times a week fast food, or some houses at least twice a week. And the bad oils used, or the cheap oils used in this food, certainly have got no nutritional calories, and half an hour later or 1 hour later you're back in the kitchen looking for a bag of crisps or popcorns or something.
That's it. If you're taking a sugary food in, it's going to stimulate your desire to have more food.
It's dead calorie food.
And also, I mean, what I tend to do now, and my wife and I, we avoid all starchy carbs. So we simply don't eat pasta or any other sort of starchy carbs.
Yeah.
We mainly get our carbohydrates from vegetables and some fruits every day.
So again, starchy carbs, like Felix mentioned, really bad. Tea and dairy, we are not a dairy race or community that needs dairy after the age of 3. There are other options. Look out for other hazel milk, coconut brand, a very good one. Again, don't go for cheap brands. Don't go for more water, less coconut, more sugar contents. Almond milk, if you can make it at home. Yeast.
Sure. And bread, for me, bread is a big no-no.
Yeah.
I just avoid it entirely.
Bread industry worldwide. Look at Polish bread. Look at Danish bread. Look at the French croissants. Look at the American bagel. That would never leave your back passage if you've had it for 4 days.
I mean, actually,
it's like just a dart thrown in there and saying, "Well, I'm not coming out."
I prefer to avoid all bread, but if there was one, then the properly made fermented soda bread. That's okay.
And that's that
but
fermentation
it's so difficult to get now.
It is difficult to get, but I've seen a few shops that do very good, and you can actually tell San Francisco is written with soda bread. But it's an acquired taste, huh?
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But for me, keeping it so simple. For me, if you eat food, and within the next 2 hours you feel low energy, I have this.
I say half an hour. Some people are collapsing in office 30 minutes later.
Absolutely. But anywhere in that next 2 hours, if you have low energy, something you just ate is not good for you, and we're all individuals. So I know one of the pet things I really, you see xanthan gum and gums getting all of these products. These are new to nature molecules. They don't exist in real foods.
No, so they shouldn't have been introduced.
They should never have been introduced. So now, for me, almost one of the worst things is to have something with xanthan gum, particularly because.
And bypassing that name by calling it a thickener or a thickening agent. So food industry is so clever. They masquerade things and they hide things to bluff you and for you to buy the product. But let's go back onto allergy. As the time races through, yeast is a biggest problem and creating so many allergies, fungal yeasts, vaginal thrush, tongue thrush, nail thrush, all these things reflect onto the health of the skin as well. And then we are looking at white flowers. These are flowers that have gone through processing and they're very hard, causing even osteoporosis and eating away your bone structure. One of the heaviest dense structure in the human skeletal system is your bones. And then we are going to be looking at sugars and good pink salt and not white salt. But let's go to the good foods, always touching on good foods. That means good amount of juicing. We've chewed on that literally about good juicing and greens. And then looking at hydrating water, good quality water. If you're at work, it should be a good bottle, not a cheap plastic bottle. Some bottles in the stores, you need to shake them. When you bring them, you see microscopic bacteria, floaters in the water that's been sitting in go-downs for a year. So until you don't distill or do a good RO system, you need to look at good quality bottles, a stainless steel bottle or a bottle which is the very good recommended bottles in the market, which are the BPA-free bottles, and they are plastic is heavier and denser, but the fumes do not affect your water.
That's such an important point, because now everything we do for babies, we make sure it's BPA-free. When we come to adults, we should be doing the same thing.
But we don't.
Not always.
Only in the baby bottle, and by the time the child is 3, the mother is pushing some crisps and sodas and colorants and squashes down their throats and kind-to-teeth drinks. There's nothing kind unless you make it at home. I think mother's life has become just so hectic that they fail to do the timing of their get up and go. If the mother is not healthy herself, she's not going to be feeding her kids with good food.
Look, I tell you, our son goes to school, and he shocked me the other day when he told me that about half of his class go to school without any breakfast.
Wow.
And I was like,
terrible.
I couldn't take it in. It was like, really?
Yeah.
And then a good portion of them have breakfast cereals. I mean, I was once told by a nutritionist I really, really think is very, very highly qualified, and he said to me that if they didn't add vitamins into the breakfast cereal, there'd be more nutrition in the cardboard box. And so
anything that says added means that food was dead in the first place. Why do you need to add stuff?
I avoid all cereals, and I struggle to believe these days that they're still so widely sold.
Never
I mean,
brought
they
our
really
kids on cereals. Touch wood, our kids didn't have acne either. But berries and cherries, my favorite. Raspberries, gooseberries, blueberries. Yet strawberries can be a bit on the acid level, but again, look out for quality. Wash the strawberries because they do have microscopic bacteria in lukewarm water several times.
Blueberries, blackberries,
yeah,
black
I just
grapes.
had my big pounds with 33 extra %, 2 boxes this morning, knowing that I'm up north doing the show, so my berries wouldn't have been healthier for tomorrow. Nuts and seeds, my favorite too, but what's the story? You need to chew them 30 times, masticate them until you don't taste the milkiness of the nuts. you know, you're not even going to benefit. Then avocado, we always speak about avocado.
Love avocado, yeah.
It is
great brain food.
Oh, it's the best butter known on earth, you know, without having to raise your cholesterol levels, you know. Oils, good oils, rapeseed oil, light olive oils, and go for the green oils with good brands, because any oil that is under 19 or 15 pounds of good quality olive oil, then that oil has got soya bean oil. Look out for those. Ladyfinger, great for vitamin E. Eat it raw.
Okay.
Fantastic for vitamin E. Nigerians eat ladyfingers raw. They never cook them. Greens, the whole range of greens and collards and organic spinach and kale and wheatgrass. We are talking about wheatgrass as anti-cancer. Wheatgrass has got fantastic aminos for the skin. I've got my green powder, green juice here on the floor. So if I have a thirst quench or a little cough out of emotions, I'm there to grab it.
I take a green supplement every day, Manji. I mean,
it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, there are some really good ones. But the best ones are truly, you know, they're not going to be the cheapest that you can find.
Exactly.
But
then you are getting that benefit from that 1 or 2 scoops compared to about probably 4 or 5 you'll have in a dead product, which has got bulking agents and powders and potions just to create volume.
Avoid anything. I mean, what I look for in a product that, you know, that I take is it should be dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, GMO-free, and lectin-free.
Yeah.
And I take a greens product every day, and 77 ingredients. Manji,
fantastic.
I would have to eat more than 2 kilos of veg.
Exactly.
To get what's in a single 10-gram scoop.
And even for me to run from Devon to Birmingham or from London to Glasgow, probably even not fueling sometimes, but fueling myself with my greens keeps me going. Got my wonderful music on, which is my, you know, slow, serene yoga music, and I don't know who's next to me in the car, but I know I've got my protector there to see me safely to the other end of my route. But obviously not forgetting beetroot, time runs out as well. So beetroot is very important. Again, go for organic, juice it, eat it raw, shred it, red cabbage, very good, but not mayonnaise. Cabbage, you know, which makes you very arty, farty. You end up dispelling a lot of wind. I had a patient who dispels wind that she says it smells like rotten eggs. And her husband says all night he's woken up by what she's dispelling, but she says, I don't know, I've done it. She's fast asleep. So imagine that her gut has got putrefied waste, but the skin is so bad. And that is serious, that a young person can suffer from a rotting egg smell, and she's dispelling it all day and night, which is serious problems. Again, colon hydrotherapy, colon cleansing, juicing, greens, all these things. But sometimes when people have greens, when they've never had them, you do have excess wind. Don't be deterred. Because there's already so much methane gas, it's trying to find an outlet.
Yeah, but you know, that really comes from, look, there are vegetables, particularly legumes, that have you know, lectin. If you take a yellow pea, about 25% of it is protein, 75% is lectins. So legumes in general will have what we call anti-nutrition.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a popular brand, you know, beans means X.
Yeah.
And you know, we all know that when we consume those type of beans with the sugar content, we have gas. I can't take those type of beans, and I wouldn't want to because of the lectin content.
Yeah, but with the Indian genetic system, we need more fire in those beans. Adding ginger, adding in fenugreek leaves brings in the fire in the beans. And avoiding the carbs with the combination of the beans.
Yes.
That's going to ferment and make massive gas. So again, talking about beauty and elegance and radiance, we are Radiant to give you and take you to another journey of another health show, 9:40 p.m. every Wednesday. But today's show was on skin, radiance, LED light therapy, tri-light therapy. See the number at the bottom. Call on that number for advice, but that doesn't mean that there's going to be a whole host of information given over 1 hour. It is a short, brief advice that we can give you on that number of your skin condition, acne, acne rosacea, skin burns. Hyperpigmentation is a big problem with Sikh women, Asian women. Pigmentation or blotching of skin after pregnancy means that your estrogen hormone levels have gone way to that on the acid bar. Having too much sugar through pregnancy, you think you're safe, but you're making yourself very acid bar. And then, you know, everything starts with I've been very fortunate that last year we managed to have 5 women deliver very safely. Babies that historically some of them could have never delivered and failed to deliver even up to after 4 miscarriages. But all have delivered, but it went through a journey of 3 months, 4 months, and onward journey through the gestation period to produce bouncy babies. So
such a big thing.
It is such a big thing, yeah. But then we are burdening the NHS by going back again, looking at dermatologists, looking at skin creams, looking at hydrocortisone preparations, thinking these are only short burst. But they confuse the skin so much that we don't know, the skin does not know what to do. So look at these 7 layers, and we will be also looking at another show with another topic with myself and Hugh, taking you to a journey of good health. And then all these foods are not just there for you to, brush over. Look at the foods that we have given. I hope you enjoyed the topic.
I did, and thank you for joining us. I hope we gave some value.
Yeah, valuable information and information of your health is your wealth will take you to another journey very shortly with myself and Felix hosting it and saying Sat Sri Akal.